Hi, welcome to I Unlimited, committed to helping you find your best self and inner peace. Hey, soul travelers. I experienced something today that I wanted to share with you. So I finished walking the dogs. We walked for an hour and it was kind of warm. And so getting back, it's like, oh, wow. I just have to, my body had no energy. I needed to rest for a few minutes to re-energize. Now, in the past, that would have been, I have no energy. Oh, I can't do anything. Oh. And today, I knew my body felt tired, warm, needing a minute. But I also knew in the same moment, my spirit wasn't tired. My spirit had energy. My spirit had enthusiasm. I had a whole agenda, what I wanted to accomplish, one of which was talking with you. Now, in the past, coming back and feeling that in my body would have been, oh, that's how I feel. I can't do anything. Oh. And this time it's like, oh, no, I'm still interested. I'm still enthused and energized in my spirit. And so sitting here talking is fine. And all I do is just take a few minutes, get some water in me, get a little protein in me, good to go. As I'm reaching new levels, I'm able to see that. I've known for years, don't we all, like mental and emotional exhaustion is way more draining and debilitating than physical, than if you sat and worked in the yard or dug a ditch, right? Or remodeled the house. When you're just spinning mentally or emotionally, that's exhausting. But it always was, once one kind of hit the deck, the domino effect, everything, I can't. And now, as I'm reaching new levels, I'm creating the space, right? When everything is just jammed together and crammed together, you can't manage or change, manipulate. I don't mean manipulate in a bad definition there. Any of those things independently, because they're all so twisted up together. But as you create space, you're able to manage and move each individual piece, right? So yeah, my body was tired and needed a minute, but that wasn't me. I still was interested to get on with the day. And that was refreshing. It was exciting. And I realized at a whole new level, I've talked before about how in my past, even my happiness was tense, right? It was kind of had a brittle quality to it, that easily broken. You're happy, and then one thing happens and boom, you're not. Now it's, and it didn't dawn on me till today. The word that actually showed up for me today was all my life, growing up, the moments of happiness were also filled with anxiety. Kind of strange, right? Like, how is happiness, how are happiness and anxiety showing up in the same space at the same time? But they did. And that was why they were tense. And that's why they were brittle. Because you're one of two things. Number one, you're always like, yeah, well, don't get comfortable because you never know the next minute, what's coming at you. It's also like, why are you being pleasant? You're never pleasant. Like, what? So that's, I don't trust. But there's also the element, and maybe you can relate to this, that when things were going well and you liked it, now I'm trying to figure out, how do I control this? How do I keep all the plates spinning? Or how do I keep bad things at bay? Trying to control it and keep it. And there's a tension and an anxiety in that. But again, as I'm making the space, I can discern things rather than it looking like one big lump. Now creating the space, I can see individual components and pieces, right? And what I got to experience today was peace and a joy inside. I used to think that my body had to be energized in order that, now that does mean I'm happy. Now that means I'm up, I'm enthused, I'm ready. No, it just means maybe that there's anxiety in my body. And now, today, I really got to get a glimpse of that, of a new type of happiness, a new level, right? Where it's a tranquil happiness, at ease, at peace. And the thing about that, this is what really prompted me to share. So I hope you've stuck with me this long. And if so, congratulations. But when we first feel that, and it's different from what we've felt before in the past, we need to give ourselves a minute with that, to be with that, rather than like, oh, I don't know what this feeling is. Like, okay, let me get back to, the happiness I know. How do I rev? Okay, there I am. Pump that up. And instead, that was the temporary, fleeting, brittle stuff. And recognizing that, now it's like, okay, let me be with this a minute. What am I experiencing? What is this? And as we're rising to new levels, doing our work, that is something we have to do, is get used to something new, a new thing we're experiencing, feeling, thinking, seeing, and it was lovely. We don't have to know right off the bat, like, oh, I know what this is. I know how to manage it. I know what to do with it. Okay. We want to rush into that. I know I do. I want everything, instantaneously. But it was, I think, because it was such a deep and tranquil joy, that it was just easy to be with it for a few minutes and just soak in it, embrace it, and just be like, yeah, this is great. Not that I don't love those moments of, really fun exuberance, right? This was more of a tranquil. But man, I can't believe where I was as a child to this, so much better. And we can change and we can grow, right? And we can develop happiness. We can develop that, we all have what they call kind of the worlds or the attitudes or emotions within us. We all have the same ingredients, and we'll all have a default one. When nothing else is influencing us, there's something that we'll settle on. Some people it's happiness, some people it's joy, some people it's depression, some people it's fear, right? It's because of kind of how we started out. But I'm here to tell you, we can level up. We can absolutely level up. And I'm telling you, this is what I've been saying, the easiest access to it is through the breath. I mean, breath is life. Without it, but just that purposeful, really breathing in, counting 1, 2, 3, as you breathe in and fill every part of you with air. Your hairline, your fingers, your toes, feel like you're filling everything. Count as high as you can and feel like you're crack the shell of limitation that's formed around you. And count, release, exhale to the same count and relax. Let the shell fall away. Count again, filling yourself. See and feel every cell in you expand outward until every cell has room to move. They're not jammed together. See that in your mind and relax as you exhale. And you breathe in again, counting. Feel that air go right through you, through your chest, everything, front to back, like a breeze through a screen. If you can count, fill yourself 3 times, 5 times, 8 times, whatever you want. And then just breathe into your chest and belly. And when you let your chest and belly fall, soften and open. Allow that to move through all those spaces you've created. And as you keep doing that, and when you're doing that, you're still not doing this little shallow breathing like we do. Really practice filling the chest and belly. If you do that multiple times a day, and it can be just a few seconds, a minute. You do it while you're driving because you don't have to shut your eyes, or, do it in the shower, in a meeting, wherever, whenever. And breathing helps us release what's gotten trapped and stuck and stored. Because when we breathe shallowly, we are trapping stuff in. We're holding it down into the cell. That's why when you're stressed, when you're hurting, in pain, breathe. Because if you're hurting, you don't want to trap that in you. You don't want to hold that any longer than necessary. And you breathe and let it keep going. I can become plagued with headaches, and sometimes when a storm is coming in, I'll get a headache. Feels like my head's in a vice. And that's what, if I just soften and open, have all those spaces so that things can slip through and I can feel that headache slip on out. I may have to do it 45 times, but it still works 45 times. I'm not sitting there like, oh, I can't do life, that it allows that pain to move on. So just because pain comes, I don't have to keep it. And the same with the emotional, creating the space not only for things to leave, but now space for things to get differentiated. And you can now decide, what do I want to keep and what do I want to let pass on through. So I hope you're trying that for yourself and doing that, because it's one of the things that makes the biggest difference, because it helps us separate out our beings, our feelings, and then eventually the thoughts. We can start distinguishing the thoughts, and you can and you will level up. So anyway, thanks for listening. And in the meantime, until next time, keep finding your best self and shining your light. I hope this video helped you rise higher and shine brighter. Keep going. Invest just a few minutes here with me each day, and you'll see your happiness, fulfillment, and inner peace grow. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe to this channel so others can find their best selves in inner peace too.